So Alabama and Mississippi still observe Robert E. Lee next to Martin Luther King. Well, we got to put a racist next to the anti-racist. No, you don't. No, you don't. Martin Luther King Jr. is the greatest man that's ever fucking walked the planet. He's in the top 10. I mean, who's better? Muhammad Ali, fucking Abraham Lincoln, Oliver Cromwell. Who is better than Martin Luther King Jr.? Who is better? Talk about goddamn dying for our sins. Shouldn't we build a church and a shrine and an altar around him? He died for our sins. Isn't that the great thing about Jesus? A good man who got crucified. The last thing that Martin Luther King did was fight for the garbage workers. So the garbage workers of the city can unionize. For the right to unionize. For garbage workers in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to put, first of all, okay, so Robert E. Lee, what's the problems with Robert E. Lee? Well, there's a lot of fucking problems with Robert E. Lee. He hated America, right? How many Americans did he kill? 300,000 Americans, right? That's how much he hated America. He was like, Virginia's better than America, and I'll kill all the rest of you sons of bitches if you disagree with him. Virginia's better than the rest of the fucking country. Fuck you. And then he's a terrorist, piece of shit. So he's a barbaric, mass murdering son of a bitch. Hated America, hated the United States of America, hated the presidency, hated the Union, hated the fucking Union. So right-wing fucking murdering, mass murdering, terrorist pile of shit. That's what we're going to goddamn put to him. I mean, in a way, maybe you should juxtaposition those two. You should juxtaposition those two. Shows you which side of the country is on the good, godly Jesus Christ side, and which side is on the fucking racist slavery. You're fighting for 1850s. You're fighting for the 1% in the 1850s who drafted all you poor sons of bitches. So the only thing that a poor white man would get in the South is a bullet in the fucking head because you were going to die for white supremacy. You didn't have slaves. You didn't have property. You didn't have any fucking... And because of slavery, you didn't get a decent wage. You can't compete with free. So you're just getting, pennies on the damn dollar because you can't compete with liberating the black man. The black man as a man, that's always going to be... Abraham Lincoln was correct in the 1860s, and he will always be correct. He was on the right side then, and anybody who... you can question it, but ultimately... Some assholes are sitting there saying fucking Adolf is charismatic, but not your Lincoln. Not Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was. Okay, so here's a little article here. U.S. states honor MLK. The number of states honoring the Confederacy highlights the country's struggle to reconcile its racial past. Alabama and Mississippi celebrate MLK and Robert E. Lee, the losing Confederate general and slaveholder, on the same day. He's also a fucking loser. Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, also stupid-ass Confederates. Maybe we should thank them for seceding because Abraham Lincoln was okay with he wasn't okay with the institution of slavery, but he said as president, he wasn't going to touch slavery. So he was going to let them be racist, slavers. He was protecting the 1% in the fucking South, and he was going to enforce the Fugitive Slave Act. So if any of this, black folks ran to the North, he would say, the U.S. Constitution, he was more for the Union. He thought the Union was a greater good. He thought the Union was a greater good, so he's going to let the South keep their awful institution, their peculiar institution, and then he was also going to enforce the Fugitive Slave Act. The biggest thing that Abraham Lincoln wasn't going to do was extend it out west. He wasn't going to let the new states. He didn't want the new states. In federal territories, he felt as though he had some jurisdiction. So in the new states and the territories, he didn't want slavery to be expanded. And that was it. So if you were just being fucking pragmatic and you want to keep your fucking institution of bullshit slavery, you would have kept your fucking Lincoln. But instead you seceded, you started the fucking war, and you know what? Maybe I should thank the damn South, because if they hadn't been such fucking rabid racist sons of bitches... Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky. It's sad to see Kentucky on this list. North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. They all got at least one day commemorating the Confederacy on other days of the year. Wow. So even though Alabama and Mississippi are celebrating MLK and Robert E. Lee on the same goddamn day, you have other states that's celebrating the Confederacy on other fucking days. Yeah, I bet you it is a fucking huge... Kentucky was brother versus brother. Kind of. It was 25,000 Confederates versus 125,000 Union Lincoln Americans. So 80% of the Kentuckians at fault in the Civil War were on the side of Union, Lincoln, the United States of America, which is awesome. Kentucky's got a great history. We got a great history. MAGA Finn was like, I will not allow the thing, and then he got kicked out. So we kicked out our governor because he was, acting like he was Mr. Neutrality. And then guess who fucked our neutrality over first? It was Polk. I think a guy named Polk. So the Confederates fucked with Kentucky's neutrality to begin with. I think neutrality is the good first position. You don't have to pick a side in the beginning, but neutrality is a good first position. And then the wait to see which fucking army invades you first. Mississippi and Alabama celebrate a total of 3 Confederate holidays. Wow. Confederate Memorial Day, Jefferson Davis's birthday. Fuck you, assholes. Fuck Mississippi and Alabama and your white supremacist fucking ways. I was looking at the battle or the state flags. I think Mississippi, I don't know if they still have the Confederate flag in their state flag. And Alabama has a big X. Mississippi's got an X. X looks good on a flag, I gotta admit. I like Malcolm X. So Mississippi, Alabama, they celebrate. Not only are they celebrating Robert E. Lee to what? Pretend that, oh, well, you black folks get your day and the white folks, fuck you. I don't want no Robert E. Lee Day. I don't want a Robert E. Lee Day. There's one good quote with Robert E. Lee. He says that it's a good thing that war is terrible lest we grow too fond of it. You're fighting to oppress black folks, you fucking oppressor, molester son of a bitch. You fascist, perverted fucking motherfucking piece of shit. A white totalitarian dictatorship is what the goddamn Robert E. Lee was fighting fucking for. Fuck you. What the fuck? Good. I'm glad he fucking got smashed. I'm glad he lost. I'm glad they seceded so that way we could smash slavery once and for all. He did it as a war measure. Who gives a shit, you fucking slaving racist sons of bitches? Confederate Memorial Day. South Carolina became one of the last states to honor MLK. As long as they can, honor the Confederate Memorial Day. That's not a holiday. Put it in a fucking museum. Tennessee has a day of special observance for Nathan Bedford Forrest. Wow. Wow. A Confederate general and the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, the founder of the KKK. Good job, Tennessee. Tennessee killed Martin Luther King Jr., Memphis, Tennessee. They did something else, too. That's where the KKK was founded. So, good job, Tennessee. You founded the KKK. You're still fucking goddamn worshiping Nathan Bedford Forrest. What the fuck good did he ever fucking do? Yeah, R.I.P. Always remember the hole in the door. Always remember Fort Pillow. Remember the Alamo. Don't remember the Alamo. Do remember Fort Pillow. Fuck Nathan Bedford Forrest. Fuck Robert E. Lee. And fuck all this racist bullshit. Arkansas split up. Robert E. Lee Day, MLK Day in 2017. The state still commemorates Lee the second Saturday in October, as well as Jefferson Davis on June 3rd. For years, Georgia listed Confederate Memorial Day and Robert E. Lee Day on its official state holiday calendar. Since 2016, the state has changed both holiday names to the innocuous-sounding state holiday. Georgia state law requires the governor to pronounce at least one day dedicated to honoring the Confederacy. What the fuck? So even though there is racism in Kentucky, there's more racism in the deep South. Kentucky's centrally located. And I think that's its saving grace. It's centrally located. Lincoln needed it militarily. Right across the Ohio River is going to be, freedom. So the Underground Railroad, since it was a slave state, was right there on the, northern ends of. Yeah, you gotta get it. They weren't patriots. They weren't fucking good for anything. They didn't care about the country. I don't think they even give a shit about Virginia. They were drafted. So basically they're fucking elites and their leaders drafted them into war to fight a battle for them. And then ultimately when push came to shove, it's like, oh my gosh, I might get hurt. Well, we better surrender. What, after you've got 300,000 of your own fucking people? And that's another fucking thing for a warmongering son of a bitch. Henry Clay, motherfucker. War of 1812, 60% of all the casualties in the War of 1812 were Kentuckians. These rat bastards don't mind sending poor peasants out to send the bodies of poor peasants out for cannon fodder to die, to get blown up. But when the war gets closer and closer to them, then they're like, okay, maybe we should do some peace talks. I didn't know we were going to get hurt during this war. Was it the Civil War where people were like sitting on fucking lawn chairs? Oh, the first battle's going to be right up over that hill? Oh, okay. And they had like lawn chairs because they were thinking it was going to be like a nice, fun little thing to watch. And then it went on for 4 more bloody years. So I'm disappointed in you, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas. You're still honoring the fucking racist sons of bitches. A bunch of losing anti-American terrorists. You're fucking worshiping and honoring a bunch of anti-American terrorists. Are y'all worshiping ISIS too? Are y'all a bunch of North Korean fucking supporters? You guys are on the side of evil, right? No matter what, you're on the side of evil. Okay, I see. I see you, Confederacy, you evil motherfucking rat bastards. I see you.